Welcome back to the channel. I'm just out on a local trail today and I thought I'd talk to you guys about blister prevention. So if you've watched my previous videos from last year, you'll know that I suffered pretty badly for the first time ever with blisters, and I've put this down to three main reasons. The first reason being is the shoes that I wore, the second being my socks, and the third being my lacing system. So let's talk about that in a little bit more detail. So my first tip is to wear shoes or boots that are well worn in. The reason why mine weren't well worn in was a little bit unintentional. So about a year before I had decided to go on the coast to coast, I'd switched over to trail runners. However, they just absolutely disintegrated. Hats off to Scarpa because they provided a new pair fresh under warranty. However, they weren't that well worn in. I had worn them out on the trail a little bit, but obviously not enough. So when you're doing 25 miles a day on the coast to coast, they will start to rub in places that you probably wouldn't feel only going a few miles out. So that is my first tip, is to wear well worn in shoes or boots that you are used to. So my second tip to help prevent blisters is to actually just invest in a good pair of socks. And I only started to realise that I needed new socks, and I started to look into new systems of socks when my old socks had worn out and were not doing their job properly. So for the last 6 to 8 months, I've actually been using a new system for my feet, and that is the Injinji toe sock liners and the Darn Tough merino wool socks. They've been invaluable over the last 6 to 8 months in helping to prevent blisters. The Injinji toe sock liners were a little bit strange to get used to at first. However, they provide enough of a protection in between your toes and against your main sock to help stop the rubbing, which will obviously help prevent blisters. And the merino wool socks, the Darn Tough merino wool socks, have been fantastic because they are really breathable and they're fast drying to help keep your feet dry, which obviously helps prevent the blisters. So my third tip to really help prevent blisters is to look at your lacing system and really develop a good lacing system. So one of the issues that I found with the trail runners was that they had a quick lace system on them, which when I first bought them I thought was great. It would save me tying up my boots constantly, but I found that when you were going downhill, your toes slid to the front of the shoe, and it didn't really lock in your ankle into the shoe to stop your toes pushing towards the front. So this caused a lot of pain and discomfort, and it actually led me to losing both of my big toenails over the last year. So now what I do is I've switched back to boots, and I've looked at, there's a ton of different ways to lace your boots, but I've really looked at how to lock that ankle into place when you are hiking, and I'll show you on camera because it's a little bit difficult to explain, but essentially you loop the lace around a few times before you tie it and double knot it. And I found that this is it's really been a strong lace. It doesn't come undone, and I've found myself not really having to fiddle with my laces when I'm on the trail, and it has really helped to stop my feet sliding in my boots. So just before I wrap up this video, I'm going to give you a couple of little bonus tips that I use while I'm out hiking, and that is, the first is I always carry Leuco tape on me, and that is just to address any hot spots that develop while I'm out on the trail. Leuco tape's great because it's lightweight, it's water resistant, and it's really sticky, so it stays on for quite a few days before you have to change it. And the second is to take off your boots whenever you can, whenever you're resting, to really just let your feet air out, and that will go a long way to help prevent those blisters. Thank you for watching. If you've liked this video, don't forget to lace up that like button, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you on the next one.